A collection of characters which is enclosed between the quotes is what I will call it as a strings. If I ask you how do you convert the primitive numbers to the object, most of you will say that by looking at the index they will say 3. It is convenient to use the vector to store the objects. I'm not storing the values in the vector. How exactly we create the string array? How exactly we create the string array? We have already seen that whatever the elements that you have, okay, so in the list that will be copied to the array. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the yet another interesting session, and it's going to be the second session on arrays, strings and vectors. So hopefully you have seen the previous session. So guys, what is that I have in this session? Let's check. So guys, I will be discussing some of the important concepts with respect to the strings, vectors and also wrapper classes. What exactly is this? So let's check this. What I have in this session. So for all of you guys, the first topic that I will be discussing with all of you here is all about the strings. What exactly the strings is all about? A collection of characters which is enclosed between the quotes is what I will call it as a strings. Then how do I store the strings is a challenge for me. So for that, I have an example for all of you. Please observe. First, I will be creating the array. I'll be creating the array. So the data type or the syntax that you all know. So syntax, let me explain the syntax first before I go to the explanation. So guys, what is the syntax to create the array? So first you will mention the data type. So fine. So you have mentioned the data type and then you will mention the name of the array. You will mention the name of the array. So then followed by, you will be using the keyword called new. You will be using the keyword called new. So this keyword will allocate the memory for the array. All right. So fine. After that, so you will again mention the data type. Then you will mention the size of this array. So fine. But when it comes to the data type here, I'm not using integer. That's what you need to observe here. Instead, I will be using, or I am using the character data type. So that's what you need to understand. So I have already told you strings is a collection of characters or a group of characters. So when I have a group of characters, can I call that array as a character array? Yes, of course, I can call that as a character array. So fine. Then how do I store the elements or the characters inside that array? So please observe. So character array is the name of the array. So in the 0th location, I'm trying to store J. And please observe, I am enclosing this J with a single quote. I have already told you in the definition, so I have to enclose it with the quotes. That's what you need to observe here. So fine. Then followed by in the 2nd location, I'm storing A. Okay, in the 3rd location, I'm storing B. And in the 4th location, I'm storing A. So how exactly it will look? So it will look like this. So please observe 0, 1, 2, 3. JAVA, and the name of this array will be so CHARARRY. So this is what I will call it as a character array. So the group of characters is what I will call it as a string. That's what you need to understand. This is the basics of string that you need to observe. So fine. So you all know about it. Now, how do I declare? So I think I've already discussed. So please observe. So we have the string name is equal to new keyword. Again, we are allocating the memory for this, and then we are using a data type that is string, and within the double quotes, you can give the string whatever you want. So this is one of the way that we can declare the string. All right. That's what you need to understand. So fine. How exactly we create the string array? How exactly we create the string array? We have already seen that. So again, we have one more example. So that is a character array. This is a string array. That's what you need to observe here. Instead, instead of using the character type, I will be using the string type. That's what you need to observe. That's what I have done here. That's the only thing that you can observe here. Rest everything is same. What we have done there, the same thing we have done here. All right. So fine. The next important thing that you need to observe here, the most important thing in this part that you need to remember here is all about the methods that we use with respect to the string. Guys, it's very important that I need to know what is the different methods that I have with respect to the string. So I have listed some of the important methods here. So please observe what is the first one that I have. So guys, I have taken two strings, that is S2 and S1 here. So what is that we are trying to do here? I'm converting this S1 to the lower case. How exactly we are doing it? So with the help of the predefined method that I have. So please observe. So 2 lower dot case, C is capital here. So please observe, this is what we call it as a camel notation. This is what we call it as a camel notation. So fine. What is that you're doing? You are converting this S1. So S1, say for example, S1 is equal to Mysore. Okay. So S1 is equal to Mysore. Imagine I have written it with the uppercase as well as the lowercase. It's a combination of uppercase as well as the lowercase. But now I need to convert everything into the lowercase. How do I do it? So I have stored this in the S1. I will convert this into lowercase and I will store it in the S2. That's what you need to observe. Fine, in the same way, so I will be using the method called to uppercase. What exactly we are doing here? I'm converting whatever I have in the S1 into uppercase and I'm storing that into S2. That's what you need to observe here. So fine. So S1 dot equals. Okay. Please observe, this is one of the method to compare. Okay. S1 dot equal to S2. So if it is equal, so it returns 1. So please observe. If it is equal, so please understand. 1 in the sense true. True is what you need to understand here. It returns true. Okay. So it returns true. True in the sense 1 in the Boolean value 1 or 0. That's what you need to understand. So it returns true if S1 is equal to S2. So if it is not, so it returns false. That is 0. Fine. S1 dot length. What is the meaning of S1 dot length? Please understand. It gives the length of S1. It gives the length of S1. Whenever we are speaking with respect to the length of S1, so please understand, it's very important. So most of the students will make a mistake here. So length of this is, say for example, A, B, C, D. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. If I ask the length, most of you will say that by looking at the index, they will say 3. So it is not the length. So you have to count the number of characters 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length of this is 4. That's what you need to understand. All right. So fine. And then we have compare. So please understand, compares to. Okay. So what exactly we are doing? S1 dot S2. So I'm comparing string 1 with string 2. That's what you need to understand. So what exactly we are doing when we are comparing? What is the output that we'll get? So please understand, it returns negative if S1 is less than S2. If S1 is less than S2, and it returns positive if S1 is greater than S2, and it returns 0 if S1 and S2 are equal. Sir, what is this greater than, lesser than? We are not understanding. It compares the ASCII value. That's what you need to understand. It compares the ASCII value. That's what you need to remember. So fine. So concatenate. What is this concat? So S1 dot concat S2. Concatenation in the sense you are just adding. Say for example, I have S1. Okay, S1 is equal to hi within the quotes. Okay, S1 is equal to hi. S2 is equal to hello. Okay, this is what I have. So concatenation in the sense what? So please understand, S1 plus S2. Okay, this is what I will get. So my result will be hi, hello. Okay, this is what I will call it as a concatenation. Adding two strings is what I will call it as a concatenation. That's what you need to understand with respect to the concatenation. So fine. What is the next one that you have? String dot value of variable. What is the meaning of it? String dot value of variable. So please understand, converts the parameter value to the string representation. What parameter in the sense this, whatever I have. So this value will be converted into the string value. That's what you need to remember with respect to the values of, that's what you need to understand. So this is the different methods that we have with respect to the strings. So fine, moving on to the vectors. So I have already told you in the beginning of my session, vectors in the sense what? Even my one-dimensional array, I will call it as a vectors. But please understand, very important topic, whatever the elements that I have inside the array, okay, I will treat this as a objects. Whatever I store, so everything will be treated as an object. That is one of the important point with respect to the vectors. So that's what you need to understand. So arrays can be easily implemented as vectors. What is that you need to understand? I can convert the array as vectors easily. That's what you need to understand. Vectors are created like arrays. That's what they have given. So please understand, it's very important. Vector can hold the objects of any type and any number. That is the most important. But when it comes to array, it is not possible. It stores only one type. But when it comes to the vectors, it stores only one type. Is it? No, it can store any type and any numbers. That's what you need to understand. That is the speciality of vectors. So what is that we have to do? So please understand vectors and the name of the vector, new keyword we have to use, and then followed by we have to use the constructor. That's what we need to do. So fine. So this is the syntax to create the vector, and then moving forward. So some of the advantages if I use the vector. What is the advantage I will have if I use the vector? So please listen to me carefully. The first advantage, that is, it is convenient to use the vector to store the objects. I'm not storing the values in the vector. I'm storing the objects. That is the most important point with respect to the vector that you need to remember. So fine. What is the next one? A vector can be used to store a list of objects that may vary in size. Say for example, I'm creating the vector. So you don't have to expect all the vectors object, whatever you're storing here, need not to be of same size. It can vary. That's the most important point that you need to understand here. Fine. We can add and delete the objects from the list and whenever it is required. That is most precious point that we need to observe here. It is not restricting us to add or to remove the objects from the list. That's what you need to understand when it comes to the vectors. This is the most important advantage that we have with respect to the vectors. So fine. What are the different methods that we have with respect to the vectors? So please observe. The first method that I have is list dot add element. What exactly it means? It will add the element to the list. So that's what you need to understand here. And the next one. So what is the element that we are going to add? So whatever I have specified here, this element will be added to the list. That's what you need to understand. So list dot element at. Okay. So what exactly it is doing? So please understand element at. So parameter is 10. So what is the meaning of it? So please understand it gives the name of the 10th object. It gives the name of the 10th object. That's what you need to understand. So please understand that. So fine. I have list dot size. So you all know it gives the number of objects present inside the list. That's what you need to remember. Fine. List dot remove element item. So whatever you have passed as a parameter, whatever you have specified, okay, so that element will be removed from the list. That's what you need to remember. The next one that I have is remove all the elements. Whatever you have inside the list, everything will be removed. So that is one of the things that you need to remember. List dot copy into arrays. Whatever the elements that you have, okay, so in the list that will be copied to the array. So that's what you need to understand with respect to this method. And the last one that I have, list dot insert elements at. Okay, insert element chart in the sense to the particular, to the specified location, you can add the element or the object. That's what you need to understand. So please understand this is my item and I need to insert in this particular location. So it is expecting or it is accepting two parameters. So that's what you need to observe here. So fine. Moving forward, I have wrapper classes. So wrapper Chandan Shetty. Is it? No, it is wrapper classes. Wrapper classes in the sense what? What exactly wrapper classes is all about? Please understand primitive data types. Please understand primitive data types may be converted into object types. I have the primitive data types. Primitive data types in the sense what? Basic data types. Int, float, character. All those things I will call it as a primitive data types. I need to convert that into object types with the help of wrapper classes. So which is stored in the package called java.lang package. That's what you need to understand. So fine. I have listed out some of the important wrapper classes. So please understand. So wrapper classes has many unique methods for handling the primitive data types. So and objects. Let me discuss that one by one. The first one that I have is converting primitive number. Okay, I have converting primitive number to objects. How do I convert the number to objects? With the help of the constructor method. With the help of what? Constructor method. If I ask you how do you convert the primitive numbers to the object? So you will be using the constructor method. That is the first method that you have with respect to the wrapper classes. The second method that you have is converting object numbers to primitive numbers. So how do you convert? With the help of type value method. With the help of type value method, you will be converting that. So fine, converting numbers to strings. How do you convert numbers to strings? It's not 2, it's 2. So converting numbers to string, how do you do that? So using toString method. We'll be using toString method. So that is one of the important thing that you need to understand. And the next one is converting string objects to numeric objects. How do you do that? So using the static method value of. So this is what you need to understand, value of. Using this method, I will be converting the string objects to the numeric objects. And the last one, the last method of the wrapper classes. So what is that? Converting numeric strings into primitive numbers. So using parsing method, parsing from one type to another type. That's what you will be using. So this is some of the important wrapper classes methods that I have to convert the different forms from one form to another form. That's what you need to understand. So this ends the concept that we have with respect to the arrays, strings, and vector. So guys, by this, I would like to conclude this chapter. Thank you. Bye-bye.